So, good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, and that talks about the CBAP or a business analysis. My name is Varun Pawar, and I am a certified business analysis professional. And today, in this video, we'll talk about the more important, the concept that related to the business analysis. And this is my second video, and I'll keep creating and offer you such videos in near future as well that will contain all other information that is very important from the CBAP perspective. So keep watching and be with me till the end. Here there are six major key pointers that you have to keep in mind, and these are basically known as the core concept model and abbreviated as BACCM, that is Business Analysis Core Concept Model. And we have there six parameters or six factors that we always consider. So out of which the first one is the needs, the second one is the changes, then the context, the solutions, value, and the stakeholders. All those six uh, factors are very interrelated. So if there is a change in one factor, that will definitely impact the other five factors. So we have to take care of all those factors while answering the question, or while we are developing a solution, or while we are talking about the value. So we have to go through all those six factors altogether. Then we'll talk about one by one for all those factors. The very first important parameter is needs. So what is a need? So basically, it could be a problem or an opportunity that we are about to address. Needs can cause changes by motivating stakeholders to act. Changes can also cause needs by eroding or enhancing the value delivered by existing solutions. Needs is the basic terminology that generates the requirement. And the requirements are of different types. And we also say that as a requirement classification schema. So we have a business requirements that's come directly from the business. It talks about the goals and the objectives based on which we generally set the KPIs, KRAs. So these are the high level objectives or goals. For an example, the one of the KRA would be we have to achieve that much revenue. We have to achieve this much development by the end of this quarter. We have to increase the traffic to the website by that much percent. So these are the high level goals, objectives. Then we have a stakeholders requirements. Basically, these are needs of the stakeholders that is coming directly from the people who are involved in the development or gathering the requirement or building up a solution. So different stakeholders have different perspective of getting a value from the solution. So they always have their own say, and whatever they talk about the solution, these requirements that we get from these people generally termed as stakeholder requirements. Then we have solution requirements. Solution requirements is talk about the capabilities and the qualities. And under the solution requirement, we have two. It's been categorized into two forms. That is functional requirement, which covers all the behavioral aspect of the solution, which is also known as the capabilities. And the second thing is the non-functional requirement, which orient around the qualities of the solution that we are going to achieve or the effectiveness of the solution under some circumstances or under some conditions. We'll talk about these in our upcoming few sessions. Then the transition requirement. Transition requirements, basically these are the temporary requirements for an instance or example. There is an application and we have to move this application to the cloud. So now we are trying to transition this requirement from the server-based model to the cloud-based model, and there should be a set of um, pointers or a checklist that we have to um, be in place after or before the complete transition. For an example, there should be a set of users or a database records that we have to move to the cloud. There could be that we have a different working method that we have to um, train the users who are going to use that solution on cloud. There could be some business rules that we have to put in place and guide the users that how to work on those tools. So basically, these are the temporary requirements that once you're done is no more carried out. So these are basically the temporary requirement, you're done and that's complete. Then we talk about the changes. And the changes are the act of transformation in response to a need. So there is a need. For an example, we have to migrate an application from a server to a cloud, and this is basically a need that we have to move it. There are a lot of factors in place why we want to move that creates altogether a context. So the act of transformation, like from the server-based model to the cloud-based model, this from this stage to the other stage to the cloud, this is basically a transformation. So the act of this transformation is termed as a changes. So we have to change a lot of things in between in this transition from stage 1 to stage 2. So what changes we are doing there? The act of transformation is known as a change. Change works to improve the performance of an enterprise. Obviously, if we are doing any transformation, if we are doing any changes, that changes will always either improve the performance, or in some terms it is used as well to decrease something, and the decrease could be like decrease the losses for the organization, decrease the reduce the risk. So basically these are how we talk about the changes. Then these improvements are deliberate and controlled through business analysis activities. So these improvements are deliberate. This means these are intentional and these are being controlled through the business analysis activities. So we'll talk about the business analysis activities. So there are 6 knowledge areas in which we will study about 30 different activities that the business analysis has to perform. We'll talk about all those activities in our upcoming videos. So all those are deliberate and controlled through the business activities, all those sort of improvements. Then the next factors that comes and play a very crucial role is the context. The circumstances that influence are influenced by and provide understanding of the change. I'll give an example later on this slide. The changes occurs within a context. The context is everything relevant to the change that is within the environment. Context may include attitude, behaviors, beliefs, competitors, culture, demographic, goals, governments, infrastructure, languages, losses, processes, products, projects, sales, seasons, terminology, technology, weather, and any other element meeting the definition. For every solution, need to understand the context. Now, for an example, there is a project that we have to create a hydroelectricity project in a mountain area. And knowing the fact that the mountain is ensnared by a lot of uh, flora and fauna, there are a lot of villages in and around. There are um, the farms and fields, and the water that is flowing there in a river is being used by the farmers for their farms to irrigate. And the lifeline of the farmers are basically dependent on the river over which we are going to build that hydroelectricity project. And there are different other stakeholders like the forest department, uh, and 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 different other like villagers are using the forest for their cattles, for the grass, for taking out the wood for uh, you know so all those sort of things are there that we have to take care. Like if we are building up a hydroelectricity project in that area, so these things that has been carried out there by the villagers and the different stakeholders like the forest department or the irrigation department or any other party that is related or that is working in that area, like a transport or a road authority who might be building up our roads around. So the dam or a hydroelectricity project that you are building should not impact on the roads. So generally what happen when you build up this type of big hydroelectricity project, so the nearby area is being affected. So these sort of things we have to include while developing a solution. Another example is like in Europe, we have to build in a indoor stadium. So and uh, and we know like in Europe, this is 6 months. It's a heavy snowfall, and it's and when we are talking about to make that stadium operational throughout the year, that's not possible until and unless we made a closed auditorium or a closed ground, a rooftop. So to make this, we have to talk about the context that's Europe, that 6 month a year, it's very heavy snowfall, and then need a heating devising or some heating mechanism under that rooftop, and then the lighting, and then the all those sort of things we have to take care of. So what I'm trying to tell you is the context we have to take care of while developing any solution. We'll talk about this context in near future when we are talking about other topics related to the business, or when we talk about the activities. So everywhere you will find that we are talking the context, and then we are building our solution accordingly. Then it's solutions, a specific way of satisfying one or more needs in a context. So context we already talked about, and that's a specific way of satisfying one or more needs. The needs we talk about. A solution satisfies a need by resolving a problem faced by stakeholders or enabling stakeholders to take advantage of an opportunity. Solution is created to benefit the stakeholders. Solution always has a value attached. Solution is an optimized and a packaged set of requirements tied to some releases to achieve maximum value. For an, if I can give an example here, that in order to build for example, we have to build an e-commerce website that's a B2B or B2C platform where users or buyers or sellers are interacting with each other. So we have to, there might be 10 features that you might be building for a buyer, and the 10 features or 15 features you are building for a seller. So these 10 requirements for the buyer and the 15 requirements for the seller, these need to be tied together in a single release. So from the IT perspective, we have different sprints and different releases. So we have to see the solution as a whole and not individually like a per requirement. We have 10 requirements as a seller, we have 15 requirements, 10 requirements as a buyer, 15 requirements as a seller. So when we combine all those set of requirements, that will create an entire solution, a big one. We have to see that big solution altogether. So this one talks about that. We have a complete packaged set of requirements tied together to some release that will achieve a maximum value. Then value. So what's the value? Value is basically a worth, importance, or usefulness of something to a stakeholder within a context. Value can be seen as potential or realized returns, gains, and improvements. It is also possible to have a decrease in value in form of losses, risk, and the cost. Value can be tangible or intangible. Tangible value is directly measurable. Tangible value often has a significant monetary component. Intangible value is measured indirectly. Intangible value often has a significant motivational component, such as company's reputation or employee morale. In some cases, value can be assessed in absolute terms, like a proper, if we say like we have to increase our revenue by 20% quarter on quarter. So this is absolute number we have to achieve. But in many cases is assessed in relative terms. One solution option is more valuable than another from the perspective of a given set of stakeholders. And another example in there are 2 features that is for seller buyer, and there are 10 features that is for developing for a seller. So from the seller perspective, this is more valuable solution for them if we compare to the buyer. So this is always in relative terms. Then at the end we have stakeholders. Stakeholders, a group or an individual with a relationship to the change, the need, or the solution. Stakeholders are often defined in terms of interest in, impact on, and influence over the change. Stakeholders are grouped based on their relationship to the needs, changes, and solutions. And now there are 2 types of stakeholders. One is internal stakeholders and another is external. Internal stakeholders are end users who are using an application, operational support. In another term, it is said to be somebody said support team, the IT IT team, incident team, help desk. So there are a lot of alternate names for the support, operational support team. DSME, that is domain subject matter expert, and this is a second very important person next to the BA. BA is basically a superhero in this entire picture. So domain subject matter expert is a next to the business analyst. Then we have implemented subject matter expert, that is known as ISME. Then the project manager, PM, sponsor, who is controlling the budget, who is sponsoring this project, and then it's BA, that is business analyst. Then the external stakeholders. The external stakeholders like the supplier or a vendor who is indirectly or directly using that solution. But why these are known as external? Because they don't have a direct say for that solution. The customer, sometimes regulators sometimes also known as auditor, and the vendors. So thank you everyone. This is it from the BACCM, that is Business Analysis Core Concept Model. I'll keep creating and posting such videos in near future as well, and hope you like it. If there is any questions or query, please feel free to put that down in a comment, and I'll happy to answer all your queries. Till then, thank you very much, and keep watching my this channel and the videos for certified business analysis professional. Thank you and goodbye. We'll meet you in a next video.